Okay, I have my 2007 Pontiac Vibe here today, and we're going to be replacing the front driver's headlight. And this is just your basic bulb to get the job done. Picked this up at Walmart. And this controls the high and the low, dual purpose. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you're unfortunate enough to have your driver's side bulb go out, you're going to have a little more difficulty. There's a lot of room over here, as you can see, on the passenger side to get in there. You got this in the way a little bit, but you can't really see, but it's easy to get to. So what we're going to do is we're going to first get over here, and we're going to have to get this battery out of the way. Now we've got a clamp here, we've got some 10 millimeters, and preferably a little a deep socket will work the best for this. Okay, so here we have our little ratchet. We're just going to get on here and loosen this. Now this one back here has a hook. I'll show you in a minute. This up here just bolts right into this frame here. Just take it completely out, and we'll take the nut off of this one right here. And really, you don't even need to take it all the way off, because if you can just wiggle it around, you can see the hook there. We'll just come right loose. We'll just set that aside. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and loosen this negative side up here. You just loosen it a little bit, and it should wiggle the rest of the way off. Now this cap, just pop it up. So back like that. And we'll just do the same thing right here. So you can get these little sockets. This is just a 1/4 inch drive, 10 millimeter I'm using. Works really well. Okay, so now we go ahead and lift this battery out. We're just going to set it over here on the ground. Okay, now we got that out of our way. Now we're going to come over here, and all you do is just pull this, or give it a little wiggle. Pull it straight as you can, straight off. If you put some electrical grease on these as you put them back, it makes it a lot easier to deal with in the future. Okay, now this seal, just give it a little tug on these tabs, and it'll pull right off there. So there we have that. We'll just set that aside. Okay, so now with that out of the way, we can look in here, and you can see the bulb right there with the 3 prongs, and you can see this wire clip right here. Now that's hooked in underneath that piece of metal right there. You can see that right there. It's just hooked in under that. Now when I give that a push down, it's really hard to, when I give that a push down, it just pops up. Just kind of push it down, in and downwards, and it pops right up. You can see it folds right up out of the way. And then when we got that out of the way, we can go ahead, and this bulb will just come right straight out of here. And it'll go a certain way. You can see the notches in there. You see there is 2 down at the bottom. I guess you could say at 5 and 7 or whatever, and then you got one up at 12 o'clock. So that's how you're going to put your new bulb back in. The 2 notches down at the bottom, the one straight up at the top. And you can see the bulb here. So when you go in, you'll place that notch upwards, 2 down at the bottom, and push it straight in. Now, if you don't have any gloves, don't go to handling your new bulb until you get some paper towel or something on your hands, because the oils in your hands will burn them out and mess them up. So make sure you got a paper towel or something to handle your new bulb. Okay, so I got my new bulb here, and I put on some new gloves. I'm going to try to avoid touching the bulb in any way. So I've just got it by this. We've got the 2 tabs at the bottom, the 12 o'clock tab up at the top, and we're going to go right back in. Okay, so we'll get it right into our slots. There's the top tab, there's our bottom tab, and there's our other bottom tab into its notch. Now we're going to just kind of hold it there, take our spring, it's going right down under that piece of metal. Just give it a push. Okay, and you can see where the spring is right under there. So once you got it down there, it'll hold it into place. That's all you got to do. So push it down and push it back in. And now it's locked into place. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so now we're just going to get over here and get our weather boot. And this thing will just go right back around this gray part. Just kind of wiggle it into place. Just make sure that it snaps on, and make sure that it doesn't do that. Because it'll try to go on your connectors, and you may have to take it back off and redo it if it gets around those. Readjust it and recheck it. So there we go. It's on there. The 3 connectors are through the rubber part. Now we'll just take our connector and we'll place it right directly on there with the 2 side ones and the top one. Just give it a good push, and that's it. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and get our battery over here. I just want to show you this piece of metal down here. This is where the hook for the battery hold down goes. It just got a hole right there. This bracket, just take it. You can't really, you have to look down in there. It's kind of hard to see, but it just hooks from one way or the other. And you give it a hook, and it's easier when you're tightening this to kind of hold upward force on it. That way it'll keep it from slipping back down and out. So you kind of like hold it in place while you tighten it a little bit. But anyways, that's all there is to that. The battery hold down. We're going to go ahead and just set our battery back in now. Okay, so we just slipped that. You can just take and pull these wires, and you can see the little hook down there. Hooked it in, kind of held up on this, and simultaneously fasten this down by hand until it's kind of snug to the top. That way it's not falling down out of that loop. So I'm just getting ready to replace the 10mm up here. And then we'll go ahead and snug our bracket down here. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and get our positive cable back on and get it snugged down with our 10mm. And we'll just snap this back down on here, and it just kind of clips itself. Just you'll know it when you get it snapped on right. It'll stay. Now we'll go ahead and get our negative, and we'll go ahead and secure that. Okay, and now most importantly, we're testing our lights out with the key on, and both of them are working. And test your low and your high and make sure they're both working. Okay, so that's going to conclude this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and share. As always, I invite you to subscribe, and I thank y'all for watching.